Hi friends, welcome back. Today we are talking about productivity. Our learning target today is I can analyze how firms create efficiency. Firms is another name for businesses. So let's get going. Productivity. Productivity is one of the ways to achieve economic growth. Remember when we looked at our points on the PPC, we looked at our production possibilities curve and we saw that if a point was outside of the curve on top of the line, we can't get there unless our economy grows, and growing our productivity is the way to shift that curve out, okay? Sometimes productivity is called efficiency. How efficient are we being with resources? How efficient are we being with time, which is also a resource, okay? So basically productivity is how much crap are we putting out there versus how much stuff did we put into making that, okay? So the formula is right here in front of you. It's dividing how much we produce, that's called output, by how much effort or resources or time or things are being put into it. That's called input. So whenever we talk about productivity, and we're going to do a lot of productivity problems today, the productivity formula is output over input. So that's basically it. That's really simple. Let's practice it. And to practice, I'm going to pull up my handy dandy calculator because I am a pro calculator teacher. Big fan of calculators, okay? So here we go. What is the productivity/efficiency of the following? Remember, productivity is output over input, output divided by input. So in each problem, we're going to be finding out what was produced. And it's not always stuff. Sometimes it's what did someone do with their time, and that's the output, versus the input, how much went into making or how much time went into that thing, okay? So the first one, me, Mrs. Keller, reads 250 pages of a book in 2 hours. What is the output? What is the input? Plug it into the formula and chug along, okay? So the output would be I read 250 pages of a book. That was my productivity. That was my production. And how long did it take me? 2 hours. Output over input. Output was 250 pages divided by the input of 2 hours. What is the efficiency? We would say 125, but we have to label, okay? So number one should be 125 pages per hour. I'm actually going to type that in. Equals 125 pages per hour. You have to label your answers, or I can't give you credit because I don't know what 125 means. 125 what? Okay? These are all word problems, okay? Let's look at the next one. A runner finishes a 50-meter race taking only 250 steps. What is their output? What is their input? And then we plug it in the formula, and that tells us their productivity. So their output is they finished a race. How long was the race? 500 meters. What effort did they put into that race? 250 steps. So that would be our input, output over input. So 500 meters divided by 250 steps would be 2. Let's take a look at that answer. It is 2 meters per step. Okay? Let me go back and do that. All right, let's look at number 3. A quarterback throws the ball 45 times for 300 yards. What is his output? He gains 300 yards. How much effort did he put into that? He put in 45 different throws. Okay, so let's take 300 divided by 45. Nope, 300, divided by 45 is 6.6667, but you can shorten that, okay? So we're looking at this equals 6.7. 6.7 what? He gets 6.7 yards. That's his output per how many times he throws the ball. 6.7 yards per throw was his efficiency. Okay, let's take a look at the next one. A seamstress sews on 117 buttons every 30 minutes. So what is her productivity? What is she making? What is she putting out into the world? 117 buttons. How long does it take her? 30 minutes. 117 divided by 30 equals 3.9. Okay, it's 3.9 what, Miss Keller? Well, what was her output? 3.9 buttons. And what was her input? Per minute. Okay. Next one, a teacher speaks 1,225 words in every 45-minute class period. I can assure you I speak a lot more than that. So, what is the output? A bunch of words. What is the input? 45 minutes. So, let's put that in. 1,225 divided by 45 equals 27.2. 27.2 what? Well, what was the output? The output was words per what? Minute in a class period. Okay? All right, so let's let you practice some. I chose some harder questions here, so I am going to explain the first one, and then number 2, 3, and 4, I'm going to give you time to pause the video, do by yourself, and then check your answer, okay? So here we go. What is the productivity or efficiency of the following? This one is going to be a little bit harder. 10 workers work for 12 hours over a 10-day period, and they produce 30,000 water bottles. I know you're thinking, Miss Keller, you crazy. There's so many numbers in that. Why is it nothing like the last slide? Calm down. It's going to be okay. Okay? So 10 workers working for 12 hours over a 10-day period producing 30,000 water bottles. We know what our output is. What did they produce? 30,000 water bottles. Now, how do we figure out what the input is? We need to figure out how much everyone worked over this time period to get these water bottles produced. This problem, so much more realistic because this is what factories look at. They look at how much time and energy all their employees on the assembly line spend to make something. And then they think, how can we make it faster? How can we make it better? How can we make it more efficient? Okay, so how do we do this? We know it's output over input. Output, 30,000 water bottles over the input. The input is how much work did everyone do? So to find that, we have to multiply. 10 workers for 12 hours, 10 times 12, over a 10-day period, times 10. That ends up being 1,200. So 30,000 water bottles divided by 1,200 hours total worked by everyone is 25 water bottles per hour. We produce 25 water bottles per hour in this factory. All right, next one. 5 workers, sorry for that typo, working for 7 hours a day to produce 14,000 bags of candy. Okay? 5 workers, 7 hours a day, producing 14,000 bags of candy. And this is just in one day. So what are we going to do first? I want you to pause this video, try and do it by yourself right now. All right, let's look at the answer. So we know it's output over input. Output is 14,000 bags of candy divided by the input. How much did everyone in the whole candy factory work? They worked 5 workers, 7 hours a day. 5 times 7 is 35. In one day, 35 hours of work because we had 5 different workers. So 14,000 bags of candy divided by 35 hours of work is 400 bags of candy were made per hour. Okay? Next question, number 3. Pause this video. Try and do it by yourself. Go. All right, let's look at it. So 450 workers. That's a lot. Working 365 days a year. Real crappy job. For 8 hours a day. And what are they producing? 3 airplanes. Airplanes are hard to produce, guys. Big things, okay? Now, this is a little bit unrealistic, but still, I'm showing you that sometimes we need to calculate how much effort did we put into this one giant thing that took us forever to do, okay? So, let's take a look at it. How would we do this? 3 airplanes is our output. Only 3. Tiny, itty bitty number there, okay? How many hours total did everyone work on this one airplane? We had 450 workers times 365 days times 8 hours a day. That ends up being 1,314,000. Okay? Divide that and you get 0.0000228. So 0.0000228 what, Miss Keller? You didn't put it on there. All right, I fixed it. 0.0000028 airplanes per hour. So I'm showing you that the big things take a lot longer to make. But that still doesn't mean that factories and people building these things aren't looking at their efficiency. All right, last one. You're going to do by yourself first. You're going to pause the video, do number 4, and then come back, okay? Here we go. Mr. Sayre shoots 25 shots, makes only 10 of them, and scores 26 points. We know that our output is 26 points. That's what he created for his team. But what's the input? Is it 25 shots or is it the 10 shots that he made? If you're a sports person, you know every shot counts, okay? We're looking at your total average. So we need to put in how many you actually took, not just the good ones that you made. So our input is 25. Even though you only made 10, I tried to trick you, okay? So 26 points, he tried 25 times. How many points did he get per shot? 1.04 points per shot, okay? All right, you have a formative assessment on this. Some of them are the easy questions like the last slide. Some of them are the harder questions like this slide, okay? If you need extra help with this, I'm going to link Mr. Sayre's extra help videos for your use. All right, guys, go do that formative assessment. I believe in you. Bye.